he went to her and took into his own their married yearning, joined like folded hopes. Their hopes that come together. Because she was leaning, she had touched his feet, so he bends down and lifts her up. He bent to her and took into his own their married yearning, joined like folded home, as if a whole rich world suddenly possessed. The moment he gathers Savitri, he has possessed the entire world into him. Wedded to all he had been, became himself an inexhaustible joy, made he is alone. Yes, she is now entirely his. He is alone. He gathered all Savitri into his clasp. What a daring, what a great thing to gather all Savitri into his class, you see. He must be a real brave prince, brave fellow. To gather all Savitri like that is an extraordinary, brave kind of a thing to do. All Savitri. What is Savitri? Her love in her was wider than the universe. That is Savitri. Love in her is wider than the universe. Now, with all that love in her, he gathers her into his embrace. You see, that is what all Savitri means. He must have been a really brave fellow to gather all Savitri into his embrace, you see. Extraordinary line. It shows, in fact, if we remember that line, love in her was wider than the universe. Well, that line is there, 3.37. A deep of compassion, a hushed sanctuary, her inward hell unbarred a gate in heaven. Love in her was wider than the universe. Then the whole world could take refuge in a single heart. The whole world could take refuge in a single heart. Now, such great Savitri, this boy is able to gather all in his class. So that indirectly also shows that Satyavan is an exceptional being. He is not an ordinary mortal. He is an exceptional being. His greatness is equal to the greatness of Savitri, at least. And therefore, he can come together. An inexhaustible joy made his alone. He gathered all Savitri into his class. Around her, his embrace became the sign of a locked closeness through slow, intimate years. A first sweet summary of delight to come, of brevity, one brevity, intense of all long life. They will be together of long life. This is moment, intensity of that moment is there, which shows the future to come. What is going to happen? Now, while this is happening, Savitri is putting the garland around the neck of Satyavan. Satyavan is gathering her into his embrace, and the sacrament of joy is performed here. Exactly 1 year after this moment, this event, he is going to die. They are not aware of it. They are not aware of it. But that has to happen here. And it is at this place where they met, at this hour when they met, exactly 1 year after that, he has to die. He has to die. Because then that first sweet summary of delight to come has to go on from that moment onward. It is that which will be carried forward into the future, that delight. And therefore, what we have here is just one brevity in terms of all long life to come. This is just a small moment of 3 hours, so to say, but it is that which is going to bring long life of joy and happiness to them. And then, in a wide moment of two souls that made, she felt her being flow into him as in waves. She is pouring like a wave into him. The way a river pours into the sea, wave after wave, rush after rush of the river going into the sea. So she is pouring herself like a river into the sea, that is Satyavan, Savitri. She felt her being flow into him as in waves a river pours into a mighty sea. So he is a mighty sea. She is a river pouring herself into the sea. Well, actually, on a very less level, on the vital level itself, this is what happens in the case of the two lovers coming together. They pour into each other. In fact, they don't really pour into each other. They suck each other. They extract each other, you see. They pull out something from each other. The vital of one person getting pulled by the other. That is what we call love. That is the exchange which takes place in the case of the ordinary human beings. But here she is pouring spontaneously, wave after wave, into the sea. As when a soul is merging into God, that is the level, to live in Him forever and know His joy. Her consciousness was a way of Him alone, and all her separation was lost in His. She is no more now that Savitri. Everything is now for her, Him alone. Now there is a difference here in the first two lines. To live in Him, H is capital here, His joy. Now that Him and His belong to God. As when a soul is merging into God, to live in God forever and know God's joy, that is what it would mean, to live in God forever and know God's joy. It is in that manner she was pouring herself into Him. Now this Him here is for Satyavan. It is not for God. He has become a God for him now, for her now. A way of Him alone, Him, that stands for Satyavan. And of course, lost in His, not in God, but in Satyavan. So for her, He has become more than God. Yes, that is all for me. I don't need any other God. He is all for me. That is the kind of a greatness she is seeing in him. So this two lines, as when a soul is merging into God to live in Him forever and know His joy. This is a simile. This is a description, which is transferred to Satyavan. This is a comparison. And then, so this is what has happened in the case of Savitri. She is pouring herself like a river into him constantly. And what happens to Satyavan? Well, Savitri, this has happened. To Satyavan, we have got now the description of Satyavan. As a starry heaven encircles happy earth, heaven encircling earth, he shut her into himself in a circle of bliss. That is the embrace. And shut the world into himself and her. Everything is now for him, she alone, she alone. The whole world is she alone for him now. Starry heaven encircles, this is again a comparison. As a starry heaven encircles happy earth, in the night you have got stars, and the stars are now circling the earth, embracing the earth. Heaven with stars is embracing the earth. In the same manner, in the case of Satyavan also, he is gathering all Savitri into him. He shut her into himself in a circle of bliss and shut the world into himself and her. Now, this is a kind of a Vedic simile. Heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. It is a Vedic simile. In the Veda, there is a constant description of heaven and earth as companions of each other. Heaven as the Lord and earth as the spouse. Heaven in Sanskrit is called Java, Divya, Java, the word of gods, Java. Earth, Prithvi. Earth is Prithvi. So, heaven and earth, they are the consorts. Java and Prithvi. They are the consorts. So, the way they join together, they embrace each other. In that manner is this mating taking place here between Satyavan and Savitri. And shut the world into himself and her. And then a boundless isolation made them one. Isolation without any boundary. There is nobody around the whole forest. There are only two persons there. Isolation made them one, so they had come together. He was aware of her enveloping him. He has become so sensitive, so perceptive. He knows that something is happening to him, that she is enveloping him, she is surrounding him, she is flooding him, she is pouring herself into him. He has become aware of that thing. And he allowed it to happen and let her penetrate his very soul. Yes, please, please, please. He is allowing her to pour herself into his soul. As is the world by the world spirit filled. Now this is the description now. The way in which the world is filled by the spirit of the world, it is in that manner Savitri is flooding him and he is allowing it to happen. As the mortal wakes into eternity, as the finite opens to the infinite. The way in which the finite would open to infinite, it is in that manner he is allowing her to penetrate into him. So that is what has happened. He has described the state of Savitri, he has described the state of Satyavan. And the story moves forward now. Thus were they in each other lost a while. They remained together, embracing each other for a while. Then, drawing back from the long ecstasies trance, came into a new self and a new world. The beginning of the new world is their coming together. The new world is born in that meeting, in the meeting of the two. That is the important thing. New self, of course, will come as higher beings, new self. And a new world will begin with that, came into a new self and a new world. Each now was a part of the other's unity. They have come together. You see, very dramatic kind of description. Savitri is very dramatic in some of these descriptions. Part of others' unity. My unity is with you, and your unity is because of me. So they have become the part of each other's unity. The world was but their twin self-finding sustain. They stood together. They have found the world, and the world has become for them now. Or their own wedded beings, vaster frame. When they have come together, it is in that togetherness they see the world as wedded together to each other.